how do you get more SPS? I'll tell you another thing we've been asked a lot of times on the stream. What do you know anything about staking? Um, the not staking
Liquidity pools.
the liquidity pools, and up until this week, I hadn't really flirted with them at all. But I started to mess around a little bit to try to understand what's going on a little bit more, so I could be a little bit more helpful when those questions arise. On tribal decks, there is a DEC SPS pool, and so this was a type of pool that I felt very comfortable getting into because on both sides of that, I feel they're very connected as far as if SPS price moves up, DEC's price is gonna move up as well. I didn't feel like I'd miss out if one took off and the other didn't, because I feel like they both will take off or both not take off simultaneously. Um, and and so it's I started adding to the liquidity pool, and basically you put in equal amounts of SPS USD equal amounts of SPS and DEC, and you get a certain amount of shares or whatever, and whatever amount of DEC you have in there, you get twice as many airdrop points as you normally would for the DEC. So that's the bonus of doing that, and that will give you more SPS every day in the airdrops. And so I've actually just been adding to that liquidity pool every day a little bit, building up my stake in there, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely seems to be like a good spot to throw a little bit in, and you can pull it out whenever. I don't know if there's what the fees are for buying and selling, but I've just been keeping it in there and holding it in there and plan to hold it in there for a while. So but yeah, it's a good way to pick up airdrop points. I now have about 1.4 million DEC in there, with an equal side of SPS on the other side, and I'm getting about 2.8 million airdrop points a day from that.
Jeez.
And so that's doubled. It normally would just be 1.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a whole extra 1.4 million of that I'm really getting for the SPS that's in there, that if I was just had staked wouldn't be getting it at all. So and if as DEC goes down, because we've talked about this over the longevity of the airdrop, as it gets closer to the end, it's going to go down. That's going to create, I think, a situation where you just get more DEC in there because it which will end up giving you more airdrops and a little more SPS to kind of make up for that. So as far as I can tell, it's a good little thing to kind of, it's a good way to stack a little bit and build up some airdrop points. Specifically that one. The other ones that are tied into a different thing, I feel like you're taking more chances with everything going right, but these are kind of tied together. So I feel this is kind of a safer play. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know, safer is the right word, but like, they're just kind of going tandem with each other up and down, more or less.
Yeah. Did you see Dave's question there? So with the loss of SPS staking return, does the growth equal out? Seems like a more complex calculation than just the face of it.
So with the loss of the SPS staking return, so now I wasn't taking stuff that I was having staked. I was taking stuff that like it was from
It's
my like
liquid.
air. It was my airdrop. It was liquid. Now that is obviously a cost you're gonna have to weigh against, but for sure, the amount is greater than the staking amount, but it might not be by a ton. You're right, but it is a lot more liquid as well. Like I can have it out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So there is that aspect as well. And like if this is just like I haven't taken anything, I haven't unstaked anything to put in the DEC pools or anything. So I'm not necessarily like working out those calculations, but just to have this and kind of build my airdrop points, it just seems like you know, not a bad idea to kind of do on the side. I would guess that it comes out a little bit ahead at least for doing the liquidity pool.